What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. I am Ken, here today to give you a review of the Shawshank Redemption on 4K, the latest release by Warner Brothers. This one just came out this week, and I cannot wait to talk about this one with you guys. But before we get into it, I want to ask that if you are not yet a subscriber of the Mid-Level Media channel, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button. I do all kinds of amazing content on this channel, mostly centered around the world of physical media. I do my physical media updates every single Monday, letting you all know everything that's coming out in the coming months, what's coming out this week, the deals, and then I do the Tuesday Blues Day out and about videos. I do reviews, 4K reviews like this, Screen Factor reviews, Aero video reviews, tons of vlogs, tons of awesome physical media based content. If you like Blu-rays, if you like 4Ks, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button. And also be sure to smash that like button, guys. Every single like will help this video out and help this channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. And also comment down below your thoughts on this film, your thoughts on this 4K release if you already picked it up. And also, are you going to pick it up based on my recommendation today? I will be leaving the link for purchase in the description below, and be sure to turn on those bell notifications for future videos. So let's get into this, guys. Like I said, this is the latest release from Warner Brothers, the latest 4K release. You know, a classic film. The Shawshank Redemption came out in 1994, directed and written by Frank Darabont, based on a short novella by Stephen King and the novel Different Seasons, and starring Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman in this movie. So getting into the movie itself, guys, and we're going to cover the movie. I'm going to give you my score of the movie. Then we're going to talk about the visual and audio presentation. Then we're going to talk about the special features and the packaging, all that good stuff. And I'm going to let you know just how I feel about this release overall. So getting into this movie, guys, like, what can you say about it? This is just a masterfully executed film from top to bottom. I have not seen this movie in probably 15 years, maybe 20 years. I don't think I've seen it since I was about 15 years old. So I remembered it mostly for the ending and what happens at the end, because it's a very notable finale, which I'll get into a little bit more in a second. But I forgot just how great this movie is. Everybody talked this movie up as just being one of the greatest of all times. Of course, coming out in the same year that Pulp Fiction and Forrest Gump came out. So the Oscars that year must have been insane. Forrest Gump beat this one for Best Picture, which, I mean, going off of those three movies, I don't even know which one I could pick. All three of those movies are absolutely phenomenal. I'd probably go with Pulp Fiction personally, because it means a little bit more to me, but those three movies just, I don't even know how you pick between the three of them to win Best Picture that year. But another fun fact is this was nominated for 7 Academy Awards, and it did not win one, which I think is just criminal. But yeah, The Shawshank Redemption, it's a excellent movie. The story of hope and friendship within this prison, and, you know, just getting into a little bit of the synopsis and what it's about. It's about Tim Robbins' character of Andy. He is accused of his wife and her lover's murder, and then he is sent to the Shawshank prison to serve 2 life sentences, and then he meets up with Morgan Freeman, and they form an instant bond and friendship, and that kind of just carries over through 20 years that they spend in prison together. The film really hinges on these 2 performances by Morgan Freeman and Tim Robbins. They're really carrying the entire film, and just the chemistry between the 2 of them is just unmeasured. Like, you will not see this level of emotion that they are able to build like in almost any other film. It's just one of the most iconic on-screen relationships, and their chemistry together is just fantastic. I love both of them in this movie. They're absolutely phenomenal, just the way that they play off each other and the way that this movie ends. Like, honestly, like right now, guys, I've got goosebumps. I've got goosebumps just thinking about where this story goes, and it's just such a great movie. I love this movie from top to bottom. And yeah, other standout performances that I'll call out, I love William Sadler. He plays, he's kind of a character actor. You'll see him pop up in a lot of films. I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head that he was in, but he's a great actor, and I love his performance in this movie. He just has a really like fun and just kind of sweet demeanor to him in the movie, and really is the source of a lot of the film's kind of more comedic moments, just with some of the stuff that he says. Also, you got Clancy Brown as Captain Hadley. I think I really like his character, because there's moments where you feel like he's on the inmate side, but then he's that classic just asshole prison guard that like beats them and all that stuff. So it's this shift like back and forth with his character, and you can never really tell like if you're supposed to like want to be on his side or not. And it's just an interesting, very interesting character, very interesting performance by Clancy Brown. He does an amazing job in this movie. Also, the Warden, played by Bob Gutton, he's just, I've seen him a lot in other movies as well. He plays that great, just kind of menacing, just kind of asshole warden guy that just does all kinds of heinous things throughout the film. And again, like, you see him getting close to Tim Robbins' character in the middle of the film, and you're like, oh, this is a nice little relationship. And you kind of, there's a moment in this movie that I didn't feel like there was any antagonist. There wasn't any issues. Everything seemed to be flowing smoothly. People seemed to be getting what they wanted. Everybody seemed to be good. And then there's another shift, like right in the middle, where which involves the warden, and you're like, oh, this guy is the devil incarnate in this prison. Like, he's a really bad dude. And once it makes that shift, it leads into a really strong final act, I think. The cinematography here, guys, by the great Roger Deakins. This guy is just has done the cinematography for some of the best and greatest films of all time. He only recently got recognized to win an Oscar, I believe, with Blade Runner 2049, which is absolutely criminal. But some of the shots he gets in this movie is just amazing, super iconic. You know, the shot of Tim Robbins in the rain, the downward look is just the more showy shot of the film. But I also love his just more subtle images that he projects in this movie. Just the last scene where Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman are talking in front of the prison wall, and they kind of pan out and show that wide angle, and you see him walking up to Tim Robbins as he's sitting there, and they just kind of show the full view of the prison from the outside. It's an amazing shot, and honestly, it also gives me goosebumps because you know what's coming in that scene. You know the conversation that they're getting ready to have, and it's just super emotional. I love that moment of the film. And yeah, the cinematography, just Roger Deakins is an absolute master, and this is just so many great creative forces coming together in this movie, and that's why I think that it's just such a perfect film, because you also got written and directed by Frank Darabont, but you got this score by Thomas Newman, who he is probably one of my favorite composers. He might be like top 3, top 5 for me. Of course, John Williams is number 1, but Thomas Newman has some of the most underrated scores, I think. You got this, you got American Beauty. The Green Mile score is absolutely fantastic, which is another Frank Darabont film. I love his score. 1917 was amazing. It was my favorite score that year. This guy knows how to make a score, knows how to really invoke those emotions. It's just such a beautiful score, and really just kind of perfectly portrays this message of hope throughout the film. I absolutely love the ending of this movie. And like I said in the beginning, this is what I remember the most from this movie, because it's a very iconic ending, just what happens. And I'm not going to spoil it here in case there's anybody that has not seen the Shawshank Redemption, but it's one of those endings where you're just, it kind of just blows your mind a little bit. And I'm not going to say it's a full-on twist, but it is kind of a reveal, and it's something that you do not know the entire film until the end. And when you do know it, you're like, wow, this guy really is incredible. Amazing that he was able to pull this off throughout this entire film and nobody know about it. So again, I'm not going to spoil it, even though this is a almost 30-year-old movie at this point, but it's such a good ending, and it's one that when it happens, it just really elevates the film to that top tier status for me. So I absolutely loved it. My only issue, and it's not even really an issue, but it's just the character of Tim Robbins, Andy. He has a very cold demeanor throughout the first act, and it's really hard to really the film requires you to sympathize with him in that first act. There's a lot of really bad things that happen to him, and I just never really felt that level of sympathy. One, because they never really make it clear whether or not he actually performed the murders or not. And also, he just has such a coldness to his performance that it's just really hard to get invested and sympathize with him. Now, after that first act, it ramps up and you start to really get inside of his head. And there's some really strong performance scenes by Tim Robbins in the second and third act that really make you latch on to this character. But that's my only little small issue with the film. And it's not, I can see how it's not even, probably not even an issue for most people. It's just, it was hard for me to connect to him as a character. So overall, at the end of the day, guys, this is like a damn near perfect movie. I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's a 5 out of a 5. And as far as this one and The Green Mile, I just watched The Green Mile this year. For the first time, I gave that a 5 out of 5. That's a perfect 10 out of 10 movie for me. This one's probably like a 9.75 out of 10. It's right there on the cusp of being a perfect movie, but it just misses that mark for me a little bit. But they're both phenomenal films. I just prefer The Green Mile just a little bit more as far as like the Frank Darabont masterpieces, the 2 masterpieces that he's directed in his career. So yeah, a 5 out of 5 for the actual movie. So let's get into the thing that you bought this 4K release for, and that is the transfer. And can I just say that I went over one of the best 4K transfers of last year with The Thing. This is right up there with it, if not like on the same level. The Thing and this, it's amazing, but like back-to-back weeks, we have gotten two of the best 4K transfers that we've gotten all year. And I hope that this is an indication of what we're going to see with the Clockwork Orange next week, because that is Warner Brothers as well. But yeah, Warner Brothers just did a phenomenal job on this release, guys. It just looks incredible. I took a couple pictures on my Instagram, posted them up. So if you're not following me on Instagram, hit the link down below and follow me, because I did post some images and pictures of the movie as I was watching it. And I'm going to show it again here, but it looks freaking incredible. Got the level of detail here, just the close-up shots of Morgan Freeman. You see every single wrinkle. You just see every single facial detail. Just some of the coloring with the HDR is so well done. It's a subtle movie. It's not really the most colorful movie. As far as colors, it's pretty subtle, but you get some of the side shots of the buildings, like the red bricks and stuff like that. It just really pops, like the reds, and then the blues on the prison shirts really look phenomenal. And yeah, this movie has a lot of close-up shots on faces, and it looks incredible from top to bottom. There's a lot of darker scenes inside of the prison with some blues and stuff. That scene where they're in the theater, that's the picture that I took. It just looks amazing, guys. The freaking visuals in this movie, I can't get over it. This is one of the best releases of the year visually. You know, and I did watch a few snippets of the Blu-ray just to kind of get the perspective of like how big of an upgrade this is. And it's a very striking and profound difference between the two, just the level of quality. So this is, yeah, absolutely, guys, worth it. This is a great movie, a great transfer. Based on these two criterias alone, I say that you should absolutely own this in your collection. But let's get into the audio, and this may be one that takes away from it a little bit from some people, because I know people love their Dolby Atmos. There is no Dolby Atmos included here, but it does offer a very crisp DTS HD 5.1 mix that I thought sounded great. But again, I know people really love their Dolby Atmos. They have the setup, and it's a huge selling point for them. So I completely get it. Getting into the packaging, guys, this is really nice packaging, but again, I am kind of getting over the whole just showing a scene from the movie and putting it on the cover of your 4K or your Blu-ray. I wish they would be a little bit more creative with some of the artwork. They could have had some cool images. They could have had that iconic like poster shot, maybe done some cool artistic things with it and made that the cover. But I mean, it's a nice cover. It's a nice slipcover. You know, I do, for the most part, like all of Warner Brothers slipcovers, just kind of the way that they do it. I could have done with a little bit of embossing, maybe right here with the Shawshank Redemption. They could have done some cooler things with this cover. I think could have really had some cool artwork, and they just went for some basic. It's a great shot. I love this scene. It's probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie. But again, I'm just kind of over the picking random shots from the film and putting on the cover. Let's be a little bit more creative with the artwork, guys. And that's across the board. Every company right now is doing that. They're either doing the classic poster or they're doing some random scene from the movie. And I just wish they would be a little bit more creative is all I'm asking. But packaging, it's good. You know, it's a good packaging. I'm not going to say anything about it. There's nothing special to it. But I didn't get the steelbook. I got the slipcover because at this point I like collecting the slipcovers. And also, guys, another thing that might be a negative, but this is nothing new for these studio catalog 4K releases. There's no new special feature. Every single special feature on here has been on the previous Blu-ray release from 2008. So the audio commentary is on the actual 4K disc itself, but the 4K disc doesn't have any of these special features. You have to go to the Blu-ray disc to watch the special features that were included in the previous Blu-ray releases. So you do get some audio commentaries. You do get some Hope Springs Eternal, a look back at the Shawshank Redemption. The Shawshank Redemption, the redeeming feature, 2 storyboards, Boggs takes a new fish arrives, so a photo gallery. So again, all special features that were included on the previous Blu-ray releases. So nothing new for this set, guys, but you're buying this for the 4K upgrade. You're buying this for the movie if you don't own it in your collection, if you've never seen it. And I would say it's absolutely worth it based on those two things alone. So at the end of the day, guys, I gotta recommend that you purchase this one. I'm gonna be leaving the link in the description below. It is going for $25 right now, guys, on Amazon.com. Again, I say it's absolutely worth it. It's just one of the best transfers of the year to one of the best movies of all time. So I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you enjoyed my review of the Shawshank Redemption. Please, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to like the video. Comment down below your thoughts on the film and the 4K release by Warner Brothers. Turn on those bell notifications for all future videos, and we'll see you next time.